Let's tie a parachute Adams today. It's one of the few dry flies in this area that works well, particularly in warm weather. Here are the materials, and pretty standard dry fly materials. A couple of important points. One is it's a dry fly hook that's flat. Also use fine dubbing, and you'll see things go better if you tie it sparsely and limit the material you put on. Tie your gray thread on as a base like usual. Wrap your tag around the thread and then continue tying it from back or front to back. You're going to stop in the middle because now we're going to tie on the post. Now wrap about 6 of the post fibers around the hook and pinch them above, and probably about 1 inch long is good enough. And notice what I'm doing is I'm wrapping the line on each side of the post, and as you can see, it's a bit awkward, particularly when you get into a size 16 dry fly. It's hard to deal with the materials sometimes. Continue wrapping the thread back to just behind the point of the hook to prepare for tying the feather on. Lay 3 or 4 of the brown tail feathers on top of the hook at the back. Put a couple of loops around it like you normally do, tying tail feathers on. Again, keeping it sparse. Also keep your thread moving in the same direction. It's now time to start twisting on the dubbing. Just use very little bit of the dubbing on there. Twist it on tight, start it, and then twist it again to make it tighter. And then you'll keep going around the hook until you get to the post, and then go around the post, go in the same direction, and twisting that fiber tight. You're going to have to probably put a little bit more on. And since this is a size 16, it's hard to get it tight enough. So just keep twisting it on as it comes off. Now wrap the thread around behind the head of the hook. Move your thread back toward the post, and then hold on to the top of the post and twist the thread around the post base. And as you can see in here, it's moving around a little bit, so it's going to take a minute to get that done and stabilized. This is important because you're actually creating a base for tying your hackle on. So we loop the thread back to behind the head. Now cut off the tips of your hackle feather. This is grizzly, and tie it onto the front. Now hold the post, and this is going to take some practice. Hold the post as you're twisting the feather around, and you'll see it has a tendency to pop off. If you have too much trouble with it, you can grab the top of that post with hackle plier and to stabilize it, and then wrap the feather around. And you'll wrap it around 2, maybe 3 times. When you get it all the way around, and at the base of the post, hold it in place with your fingers. And I'm sorry I'm covering the lens there, but there's not much I can do about that. So now I've got it in place. Now we're going to take the thread and loop it over, going the same direction as before, right behind the head. That'll stabilize that feather. Now we're going to trim the tag of that feather off. After tying it around some more, I did that to stabilize it. Here, and we're wrapping it around again. And now we'll pinch it down and tie it down. There we go. So that gave us some more feather around the post. Now, it looks real messy at the moment because the angle of my camera is kind of pointed down. So you're seeing more of the hackle than the fly. Now we want to kind of move things around with our fingernails and get them positioned right. Get your scissors and start trimming it up. The excess, you trim the excess tag off on the hackle. And then we'll go around and trim around the bottom of the fly with the fibers that are sticking out. And also fibers that are just obviously aren't going in the right place. Finish it with a whip knot with 2 or 3 wraps right behind the head. Pull the tool down to the fly and to make sure it doesn't fall out. Then trim the tag. Here we go. We'll fluff it out a little bit, get things in the right position. Now, this is real important, the next step. Get a couple of tiny drops of Zap-A-Gap super glue and put it on where that hackle goes around the post, and that'll hold that hackle in place. If you don't, it'll pop off after using it a few times. In fact, I've noticed a lot of flies that I buy, the Parachute Adams, first thing that breaks on them is that hackle comes off the post. So there we go. We clean it up some, trimming it off. It takes a minute. Probably be good to have a smaller pair of scissors too for the really small stuff. So there you go. That's how you tie a Parachute Adams. And hope it does well.